So these are my lovely hounds. That's Alby. This is Freddy. We have Tig with his little bow tie. And the smaller one with the Mohican is Mo. Mo! Mo! Oh, he's very busy sniffing something at the moment. So I always walk them on the leads because greyhounds are sight hounds. They can see a mile, so they might see a crisp packet blowing away at the end of the field and off they shoot, and you've got no chance of catching them. And that could equally be a cat or a small dog or a big dog sometimes, and it doesn't end in a happy way when you have a greyhound. So this is Freddy. Freddy was the fourth dog we got. The large black males don't tend to get adopted from the greyhound trust places or from any other places. People don't particularly like black greyhounds. He was covered in scars when we got him. He's got, you might see on his face, he's been bitten across his face and that's gone quite close to his eye. So he's had quite a traumatic youth when he was racing. We think he was kept in a concrete floored cage outside with quite a few other dogs. He was a handful when we got him. I fell in love with Freddy as soon as I saw him. And although we already had 3 other dogs, 4 other dogs at the time, I said, no, 3 other dogs. I said, we can't have another greyhound, but I do love him. And my wife did all the paperwork in the background without telling me, and then dropped the surprise to me saying, there you go. And he was a handful. We had a few big arguments. But once he'd settled down, he is the sweetest dog ever now. He's the most loving dog. He likes nothing best than to snuggle up and have a cuddle. We are very lucky to have this greenway quite close to our house. It's just at the bottom of the street, literally 150 yards away. It's a former railway line. Just in the middle of those houses in front of you, in fact that house right at the end of the field, the railway track came under a bridge there and then split in 2. One came towards me and one went to our left. When you get a dog or dogs, you have to think about the exercise regime and how much exercise they're going to need. And that's why we chose greyhounds, because we knew that they would be happy being left all day, or not all day, but pretty much all day. I was the teacher at the time, so we knew that we'd be leaving them between 8:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, and 3 o'clock, 3:30 time, 5 days a week. I walk these greyhounds 3 times a day, or they get walked. I usually do it, but it's not just me. We walk them in the morning, usually about 6 o'clock. They have an afternoon walk, 2 o'clock, 2:30, and then an evening walk about 9 o'clock. They pretty much sleep the rest of the time. They're not high energy dogs. They can move. I have let them off the lead, and they fly down the field incredibly fast. This is Tig. Tig was the second greyhound we got. He isn't a very successful runner. I think he did 5 races and I think he lost all 5. I joke that he runs like Scooby-Doo. Doesn't stop him being a lovely dog. He's very very affectionate and quite private as well. He will sit in the kitchen on a chair that he's commandeered on his own. My daughters have got him this bow tie. He has a collection of bow ties that he wears. Quite a debonair character. This is Mo. Mo has a ridge of fur on her neck, so she's got a Mohican. She is an incredibly fast animal. She can be at the bottom of the field, and the other dogs will be halfway across when we have let them run. Very rarely. She also has fits every now and again. She has a seizure. She has to have some special medicine. And we think that's why she didn't race for very long. So even though she won pretty much all of the races she ever entered, and she was an incredibly expensive dog to buy when she was born, they didn't race her for very long. She'd went to the Greyhound Trust, and there was an elderly couple waiting for a dog, so she went straight out without staying, which is quite rare. But she was such a nutcase that night that they couldn't cope with it, so they brought her straight back the next morning. What are you doing, Albie? So we used to go every Saturday before COVID. We went in to walk the dogs, and she runs over and jumps onto my lap. So she sort of decided that she was ours. And we didn't even have to fill the paperwork in. We took her straight away, and she stayed. So she never actually spent a night in the Greyhound Trust. Bless her. And this is Alby. Alby's a big lad. He's a bit of a nutcase. He is quite private. He keeps himself away from the other dogs often. On the morning when we've walked, we go in, and he stays in the lounge while I'm getting the food ready, whereas the other ones are like hanging around my every movement, waiting for the food. Not Albie, he's in the lounge. And as soon as your back's turned, he goes to his big toy box and he gets a toy out, and you can hear him running round the lounge playing with usually with the ball. His prey drive is incredibly high. Yeah, so that's Albie. So that's my hounds. They love them to bits. We all do. They have completely transformed our life. We fitted hard flooring all the way through. We changed the car we had. We've changed where we go when we go there. Obviously you are tied quite a bit when you have dogs, so if we do go out, we have to make sure we're back at a certain time or make arrangements for them. My daughter has a business that looks after dogs, so she sometimes pops in to take them for a walk. Or we don't all go, one of us stays home and walks them, or comes home early. But they are superb. So that's the end of today's vlog. Again, hope you're liking the format. If you do want to see another one, and Bob back tomorrow, and I'd love to see you again. See ya.